Here comes Haig and his crazy antics.
Hello there, welcome to Gen Smalls. My name is Bob Waldron and welcome to another tips and tricks, which today's tips and tricks is going to be about using some Crackle effects. What we have here, this is the AK Dark and Dry Crackle effects. It's acrylic base for dioramas. It's AK 8032. Now there's lots of different Crackle effects out there. All sorts of different manufacturers do them. They are sort of pretty much the same thing, and what I'm going to show you is a tip to get your Crackle effects to be more sort of crackly, more cracks to it and everything. So what we're going to do, I've got some little bases here as like little diorama examples. Now when doing your Crackle effects, what you want to do is you want to paint your base, because what's going to happen is we're going to paint this Crackle effects on, it's going to crack, and then you're going to see underneath. So you kind of want to paint the color you want underneath. I'm going for a nice sort of browny orange color going on here by Citadel, just painted underneath just there. Now with the Crackle effects, the tip is basically if we add some PVA glue on top of what we've just painted here, it makes the surface really sort of nice and smooth, and so as the paint can slip across more easily. If you paint it on a rough surface, it's not going to crackle so much, it's going to just sort of hold down a bit more, but with that nice smooth surface it allows it to move that a little bit better. So I've already painted this one's just bare paint. This one, what I've done is I've come along, and as you can see, it's a bit more sort of shiny to it, and all I've done is some simple PVA glue. Just so it's kids stuff that you can get, and all you do is we paint this onto here. You can just pour a little bit on. I don't think actually I'm going to do it on this one. I'll show you what it's like on this sort of rough surface. So just pour this on. Let's do it on the underside as an example. Pour it on. Right, get a nice little blob of it. Right, like so, nice little blob like that. Get an old paintbrush, nothing new, right. This has got a bit of simple water on there just to sort of thin it a little bit, and we can paint that on there. And basically, you know, about maybe 2 or 3 coats of that, and it should make it all nice and shiny. You can get really blobby if you want and sort of put big blobs of it on. It takes longer to dry, but it makes it more sort of smoother. Basically, the smoother you can get it, the more that this will crackle. So coming to the Crackle effects paint. Right, let's just open this up. Right, as you can see, there we go. Make a mess. What we're going to do, let's just clean this up. Right, I'm going to do this in 2 ways, because again, with the Crackle effect, it's the way you apply it as well, which can also sort of change the characteristics. So we can get sort of like a nice little bit on the end of our, you know, crappy paintbrush just here. Right, and I'm just going to paint half of this. We can just paint sort of like a nice sort of, as if you were doing some painting basically. Right, and all you have to do is just to get some good coverage, like I'm just painting on here. Right, no need to sort of, well, you can't go off and actually paint this until you've got like good coverage, i.e. doing about 2 or 3 coats. You have got to put it on sort of thick, but I just wanted to show you this sort of a finish coat on one side, because you do get a bit of a different effect. Right, now on the opposite side, I'm going to really cake this on. Right, so I'm really going to just really blob it on. Right, I'm almost sort of blobbing it and dabbing it on. Right, I'm not really sort of messing about. Right, and this will give you a different effect, which I can show you once it's all nice and dry. There we go. As you can see, I am really blobbing it on. Right, so if I rotate this in the camera, you can just sort of see how almost sort of blobby that is. It is really, really thick stuff that I've whacked on that side. Also a little tip is watch your edges, because with this kind of paint it's going on thick and it sort of levels off and sort of comes into the middle, right? And what ends up happening is your sides end up being a bit thin, and because your sides are a little bit thin, you end up with like less cracks. Right, so I am sort of coming back to this now and sort of concentrating on these sides just to make sure it's not all sort of leveling off into the middle. Right, and we get like little cracks on the sides. So I'm going to leave that now to dry. So these have all had time to dry, and the results are quite interesting. Now here it is. It's not very sort of nice, as you can see, without that bit of gloss on there. It is kind of hard to tell and see. There has been a bit of cracking going on, but not really the effect you sort of wanna get with that. And this is why adding that little bit of a sort of nice glossy smooth surface, i.e. using our PVA glue, we get all this cracking business going on, which, as you can see, massive difference. We're getting the sort of results we want. I know the colours I've used are maybe a little bit not probably the best, but like you can do all sorts of dried up desert sort of kind of thing going on, which is rather cool. You can also see as well that the thickness that you apply also makes a difference. This side we kind of spreaded it on, you know, sort of thin, and we've got lots of little cracks, whereas this side we've spreaded it on quite thick, and we end up with these sort of big cracks. The cracks seem to kind of spread a bit more, and they're bigger cracks, and hopefully you could see just there the difference. So it's all about sort of, you know, how much you kind of spread on, whether it's thin or not, depending on the results you want. But you want some sort of glossy surface to allow the Crackle paint to spread out and make those cracks, because it doesn't really work if you don't really sort of do that. I don't think this one's had much time to dry. The thicker paint will probably crack a little bit more, but it just doesn't look as nice. Hopefully that little tip and trick to help you with Crackle paint has helped a lot. So yeah, until next time, my name is Bob Waldron, this is Genesis Models, and I'll catch you later.